The 1943 Jefferson Nickel with the S mint mark and its silver alloy composition is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in United States history. At first glance, it may seem like just another old 5-cent piece, worn down by decades of circulation and dirt, but the truth behind this coin is extraordinary. Born during the turmoil of World War II, when nickel metal was needed for the war effort, the U.S. Mint replaced the regular nickel composition with an alloy containing silver, copper, and manganese. That change gave rise to what collectors call war nickels, and among them, the 1943 S stands as a treasure that can command unimaginable sums in the coin market today. When you hold a 1943 S silver Jefferson nickel, you are not simply holding a piece of money, you are holding a slice of wartime America. Every dent and every tarnished mark speaks to the struggles of an era when resources were scarce and sacrifices were demanded of every citizen. These coins were meant for everyday use, but their unique silver composition and their connection to history have transformed them into objects of immense desire for collectors. Unlike ordinary nickels, these silver issues shimmer differently under the light, even when dirty, and that sheen is a reminder of their rarity. The S mint mark, placed above Monticello's dome on the reverse side, is the key that elevates this coin into the realm of the extraordinary. The San Francisco Mint struck these coins in limited numbers, and over time, most have vanished into the melting pots or been lost to history. The few that remain are fiercely hunted down, and their value rises each year as demand soars and supply dwindles. Even a worn, grimy example is cherished, for the history it carries is more valuable than its silver content alone. One of the remarkable things about the 1943 S Jefferson Nickel is how ordinary it once seemed. Millions passed through the hands of soldiers, farmers, shopkeepers, and children buying candy. Nobody in that time could have imagined that the same coin would one day be considered worth millions in today's collector market. It is that sense of transformation, from humble change to priceless artifact, that makes the story of the coin so engaging. What was once overlooked in a dirty condition now stands as a symbol of fortune waiting to be discovered. Collectors often describe the thrill of finding a silver war nickel in an old collection, tucked away in a jar or an inherited box of coins. The moment of spotting this mint mark and realizing what it means is electrifying. That is the power of this coin. It transforms ordinary people into millionaires overnight, changing fortunes in a single heartbeat. Its market value has reached levels beyond imagination, not only because of its rarity but because of the emotional and historical weight it carries. The 1943 S Jefferson Nickel also tells the story of American innovation. When nickel was needed for armor plating and weaponry, the mint found a way to adjust, producing a coin that not only served its purpose but left behind a legacy of collectability. Each surviving specimen is a testament to resilience, adaptation, and the nation's determination during a time of crisis. It is no exaggeration to say that these coins embody the spirit of wartime America. Over the decades, collectors and investors have pushed the 1943 S into the spotlight of numismatic greatness. Auction houses see these coins sell for staggering sums, with intense bidding wars driving prices into the millions. Wealthy collectors from around the world covet them, not just for their silver content, but for the chance to own a piece of history that very few will ever possess. Dirty or shiny, circulated or uncirculated, each example is priceless in its own right. The coin's connection to the Monticello design adds even more charm. The reverse side, with its stately depiction of Jefferson's home, is a reminder of America's foundations and values. When paired with the wartime silver composition, the design takes on a deeper meaning. It becomes a symbol of sacrifice and endurance, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the nation held onto its identity and its ideals. That symbolism makes the 1943 S more than just a coin. It makes it a cultural relic. Imagine stumbling upon one of these nickels today, perhaps dirty and forgotten at the bottom of a drawer or mixed into a collection of ordinary coins. To the untrained eye, it may look worthless. But to those who know its story, it is a treasure capable of transforming an entire life. In a single moment, an unnoticed coin becomes a ticket to wealth, fame, and the honor of owning one of America's greatest numismatic legends. This is why the 1943 silver Jefferson nickel commands such fascination and awe. Its value is not just in the millions of dollars collectors are willing to pay, but in the way it captures imagination. It bridges the past and the present, reminding us of a time when every citizen contributed to victory in war, and now rewarding those who stumble upon it with fortune beyond belief. It proves that history can still reach out and change our lives in the most unexpected ways. The true magic of the 1943S is that it doesn't need to shine like gold to be priceless. Even in dirty, worn condition, its story glows brighter than any precious metal. That is why it is considered one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever struck, a coin that carries both financial power and historical gravitas. The dirtier and more worn it is, the more proof you have of its journey through time, a journey that amplifies its worth rather than diminishes it. If you are ever fortunate enough to come across a 1943S Jefferson nickel with its silver composition and San Francisco mint mark, treat it with the respect it deserves. Do not let it slip away for a low price, for within it lies the power to change your life overnight. This coin is not just money, it is a treasure, a legacy, and a fortune waiting to be claimed by the one lucky enough to recognize its true greatness. Next up, the 1967 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark may at first appear like nothing more than an ordinary coin, one of the countless 5-cent pieces that passed through the hands of millions of Americans during the late 1960s. Its dull gray surface, its worn edges, its dirty condition from decades of circulation, these traits might make the casual observer dismiss it as worthless pocket change. Yet, hidden beneath that ordinary appearance lies the possibility of immense value, the kind of unimaginable fortune that can transform a simple coin into a gateway to wealth. Collectors today know that some coins, even those minted in huge numbers, become priceless over time because of their stories, their rarity in certain conditions, and the secrets they carry in their metal. The year 1967 was a turning point in the world of American coinage. The mint was dealing with a nationwide coin shortage, caused by the booming economy and the disappearance of silver from circulating coins. To discourage hoarding and streamline production, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all coins between 1965 and 1967. That is why this Jefferson nickel, struck in 1967, carries no mint mark at all. What seems like a small detail is actually a major clue to its place in history. Without a mint mark, its origin becomes shrouded in mystery, which only adds to its allure for collectors who prize its uniqueness. Though most 1967 nickels were made of standard copper-nickel alloy, the idea of a silver variation sparks immense excitement. Stories circulate of unusual strikes, experimental pieces, or coins with strange finishes and tones that give them a silver-like glow. Even a rumor of such a coin is enough to send waves of anticipation through the collecting community, for anything outside the ordinary can instantly become a treasure. That is why a dirty, oddly toned, or misstruck 1967 Jefferson nickel can suddenly be valued in the millions, because it represents not just a coin but a once-in-a-lifetime find. The Monticello design on the reverse side of this coin ties it to the very foundations of America. The stately image of Thomas Jefferson's home was meant to remind people of the nation's history and values, even as the country faced the rapid changes of the 1960s. The 1967 nickel, therefore, is not just a piece of currency but also a symbol of a nation balancing tradition with modernity. Each coin minted that year became a silent witness to an era of upheaval, civil rights movements, the Vietnam War, and cultural revolutions, all of which make the coin a historical time capsule in its own right. When viewed through the eyes of a collector, the 1967 no-mint mark nickel takes on a new kind of beauty. The dirt and wear that some might consider flaws actually add character, telling the story of its journey through countless pockets, purses, and drawers. The scratches and tarnish are proof of life, a physical record of history embedded in the metal. To hold such a coin is to hold decades of untold stories, and that depth of meaning only increases its worth in the eyes of those who understand its true significance. Some of the most astonishing discoveries in numismatic history have come from ordinary-looking coins like this one. A forgotten nickel in a coffee can, an overlooked piece in an inherited box of change, a grimy coin pulled from circulation, All of these have, at times, turned out to be extraordinary rarities worth fortunes. The 1967 Jefferson nickel fits this mold perfectly, a coin dismissed as common until its hidden qualities are revealed, instantly elevating it into the realm of million-dollar treasures. It is this mystery, this possibility of life-changing fortune, that keeps collectors searching relentlessly. Part of the coin's power lies in its connection to a period when America was phasing out silver from its coinage. By 1967, the days of silver dimes, quarters, and half-dollars were gone, replaced by clad copper-nickel pieces. To find a nickel from that year that carries even a hint of silver tone or unusual luster is to uncover a link to a vanished era. Collectors know that such anomalies can be priceless, not just for their metal content but for the way they capture a fleeting moment in monetary history. Auction records have shown again and again that the marketplace rewards uniqueness. A flawless 1967 no-mint mark nickel, or one with an extraordinary strike or error, can ignite bidding wars among collectors hungry to own something no one else has. That is why these coins are spoken of in terms of millions of dollars. They embody the spirit of rarity, history, and unpredictability that makes numismatics so thrilling. Even dirty, circulated examples can command attention if they carry the right traits, and their value grows every year as the supply dwindles. The absence of a mint mark on the 1967 nickel makes it universally mysterious, as if it was struck with no origin, no boundaries, and no ties to one particular place. That anonymity only enhances its power. It becomes a coin that belongs to everyone and yet to no one, a piece of history that drifts outside the usual rules. When collectors see it, they are reminded that the smallest differences can create the greatest fortunes. For those lucky enough to find a 1967 Jefferson nickel in their possession, the message is clear: do not underestimate it. Even in its dirtiest, most worn condition, it carries the weight of history and the potential of fortune. It could very well be the key to overnight wealth, a coin capable of rewriting your story in an instant. This is not just pocket change. It is a treasure waiting to reveal itself to the right person who recognizes its true worth. The story of the 1967 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is proof that value is not always obvious at first glance. It shows that within the ordinary lies the extraordinary, and that even the most unassuming coin can hold unimaginable power. Collectors around the world dream of discovering one of these rare nickels, knowing that their lives could be transformed forever by a single piece of metal. So, if you come across a 1967 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, whether shiny or dirty, clean or scarred, look at it closely. Do not spend it, do not overlook it, and do not let it go cheaply. For in your hands may lie a coin that has the ability to make you a millionaire, perhaps even a billionaire overnight. It is a coin of destiny, a symbol of fortune disguised as the most ordinary of objects, waiting for the moment when its true power is finally recognized.